Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Ryan. Today's YouTube video has me back in the Z52. Yes, but this time it's the Z52 following patch 6.3. Which means the Z52 got a little bit of a buff. The first buff that it got was mostly due to the global nerf to stealth firing. Now, it no longer has to worry about coming up on a destroyer who is hidden and blazing away with its guns. You know exactly what destroyer you're coming up on, if they're blazing away with their guns. But the change in stealth firing actually reduced its detectability range when it fires its weapons. Prior to this patch, it had a 13.7 kilometer detection range. Now, the gun range of this ship is only about 12.1 kilometers, so you had an extra almost 2 kilometers, well over 1.5 kilometers, where anything outside of your own gun range could see you and could shoot back at you, and the Z52 was just one of those ships that every single person who saw you wanted to shoot at you. The other thing that it got buffed was its detection range, its base detection range. Specifically, no longer are you one of the largest detection ranges. You have a detection range now with Concealment Expert and the Concealment Module of 6.1, which only puts you 0.2 kilometers, or about a quarter of a kilometer, from the detection range of something like a Gearing or a Shimakaze at tier 10. So that gives you a little bit more options. Prior to this patch, your detection range was 6.4, and I actually think it was a little bit higher than 6.4, as I often seem to be getting detected at about 6.5 kilometers out from most people. Now, it's 6.1 and just a little bit less, as I don't seem to pop up until I'm just under 6.1 kilometers. And that is a huge improvement in the stealth ability of this ship. Ship still suffers from all the other problems that it had prior to the patch. It's got very, very weak modules on it. If you do get hit by anything, it will knock out things like nobody's business. In fact, in several battles after this patch, I got into gunfights with things where I'd have my engine, my steering, my torpedo tubes, and my guns all knocked out, only to repair them, only to have them immediately all knocked out again while engaged in a gunfight. And as you can see there, I am being targeted by pretty much every single person in range of me. And I did have something knocked out. Every time. In the Fletcher, I probably wouldn't have lost something. But then again, in the Fletcher, I also wouldn't have been seen. Now, on to the battle. So far, it's Warrior's Path, it's domination mode. The enemy team is in the process of capping B. They've already capped C. My team has already capped A. But the enemy team is down a destroyer. Specifically, they were down a Benson, who didn't quite understand that you don't get to hide behind an island and in your smoke screen when an enemy ship has you illuminated with hydro. The problem with hydro and radar is that it just tells you that you're detected by one of those, and in high-tier games, it's difficult to tell which one. That Benson was probably desperately hoping that it was radar, and then after 30 seconds, the radar would cut out, and he could disappear back into concealment and avoid any additional attacks. Unfortunately, that did not work for him, as my hydro lasts a reasonably long time. Enemy destroyer pops up here. He is out in the open, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, along with the rest of my teammates, shoot at him, because destroyer in the open, who's pulled a non-stir and beached himself, whose engine is knocked out, everybody wants the kill. I fired off a set of torpedoes down the channel one way, and a set off the other way because there's a Bismarck down there, but there's also an Izumo down there. Of course, what I don't know is there's actually another destroyer that's back down that direction as well. We do manage to lose one of our ships, but not before taking out that destroyer, as well as taking out an additional ship. Enemy cruiser pushing up here, and that could be very dangerous if he decides he wants to push up into the smokescreen. More torpedoes coming in here. I'm in a position where I really don't want to leave my smokescreen, but I don't think I can back up quickly enough and get out of the way of those torpedoes. So I am going to risk it, and I'm going to just go full out here. Of course, as I leave my smokescreen, I am detected instantly as I'm in range of that Bismarck, and that Bismarck is going to focus his secondaries on me, as well as the Izumo going to focus their secondaries on me. But the Bismarck's trying to back up behind that island, so his secondaries aren't going to be a problem too long. I'm trying to get away from this torpedo, but it's being a little weird the way it's traveling. I'm not sure if it was going one way or the other. I managed to avoid it, fortunately, so I don't have to worry about that torpedo anymore. Slow way down now that I'm out of detection range. But I did put a set of torpedoes into that smokescreen right where I thought that Izumo was going to back up. Don't manage to hit the destroyer in there, but I do hit the Izumo. And that's what's important. As I decide I'm going to turn around and get up here and contest the B cap point, the enemy team loses yet another ship, and that Izumo is very, very low health. It would be great if I could secure the kill on him. He's not flooding anymore. He just gets set on fire as I push up behind this island. There's nobody really in a position to shoot at me except the Izumo, and he was the only person who was in a position to spot me as well. So now that I'm behind the island, I'm not detected anymore. But of course, enemy Bismarck, he's pushed himself up here. And he's actually got himself forward with that destroyer of that island. So I'm not going to be able to get him with torpedoes, at least not yet. Enemy Izumo dies. The enemy team only manages to take out one more ship, but they are in a world of hurt. Yes, they've got a cap point open, but that's the only saving grace that they've got at this point, as they have lost well more than 3 times the number of ships that my team has managed to lose at this point. And my team still holds a destroyer advantage. Friendly destroyer laying a smokescreen here. He is spotted. The enemy destroyers up there have spotted him, so that Bismarck knows full well that he's here. But he also knows that he's turning away and he's laying a smokescreen, which is why he's backing up. He's not expecting me to come around an island at effectively point-blank range with torpedoes loaded, which is why he doesn't have me flagged for secondaries right away. And he manages to get shots off. They do hurt, but you know what they say? Surprise, motherfucker. I lay a smokescreen here to cover my retreat as I turn hard and away, because there are still 2 destroyers back over there, and it's possible there might be other things that I don't want to deal with. That Bismarck never had a chance. I put both sets of torpedoes down at that guy. So even if he'd survived the first set, he was definitely dead in the second set. Now, I am leaving my smokescreen, but you know that smokescreen is going to come in really handy for that friendly Amagi, who is on fire in multiple places. If he sits in that smokescreen, he can repair himself a little bit. Extremely low health destroyer pops up here. Come on, can I get the kill? It would be great to do that. He was getting hit by secondaries there. I do manage to secure that kill to give me a grand total of 3 kills now. I pop my hydro just in case there's anything hiding in this smoke screen up here, because I don't know what else could possibly be there. And I don't want surprise torpedoes coming at me down this channel. We're finally in a position where we can capture the B cap point. Pretty much almost all of the action has been here at this location. And it's proven to be one hell of a battle. Unfortunately, it didn't go very well for the enemy team, who did put all of their destroyers up in this area, and all of their destroyers tried constantly to attack. Problem for them, in the end, was that they ran into somebody with a hydro who could just pop it and stay in range of all of them. If you're playing against a Z52, you do need to be careful not to get within 5 kilometers of it, because if you do get within 5 kilometers of it, even if he is in smoke or you're in smoke, odds are he's got hydro available. He's going to pop that, and you're just going to sit there and have no recourse as he pummels you with weapons. Managed to help assist the capture on the B cap point, and now I'm pushing up to C. That's where the enemy team is left at this point. There are 2 destroyers, 1 on each side, and there are 2 battleships left. Which is actually good for me because I have 1 on each side, and neither of them is pushing into the C cap point, which means that I can just sneak right on in here, completely invisible to them. All they're going to know is that somebody or something is now sitting in the C cap point. And I do have the smoke screen available if I need it, if they decide to push up. Enemy Karbarov's back over there. He's popped his smoke screen, and I decide I'm going to put torpedoes into that smoke screen. Now that's going to be important for a very interesting reason, because that Azumo, who's fairly low health, and I figured he would die from my friendly team, he is actually just started to move forward, so we'll see what happens there. Yep, he sailed right into torpedoes that I didn't even aim at him. That's fine and dandy by me. Now in the meantime, I'm putting out solid shots and fires onto this other battleship. And there is the Khabarovsk. He is very low health, and he's in range, so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to switch over to armor piercing because the Khab, very good at that. Armor piercing damage. Just soaks it right up. Come on, can I get him? Ooh, he's very low HP. And suddenly I'm starting to take shots in. And torpedoes. Now, if that destroyer had not shot at me from that angle, I probably would have just sat there and eaten his torpedoes. That was a mistake on his part because it alerted me to his presence. And holy crap, that guy is that low HP. RNGesus, why do you do this to me? That guy sitting on that amount of HP basically epitomizes the week I've had. Look at that. I managed to hit him and not kill him. RNGesus hates me. Low rolls all the time. But that's okay, the other enemy destroyer pops up. He's very low health. I pop my Hydro, which means that smoke screen's not going to help him. Kill him and manage to secure my Kraken Unleashed. Looking at the time, though, looking at the amount of points that we have, am I going to be able to get up behind this island and spot that goddamn Khabarovsk? Come on, I want him. He's so low health, all I got to do is tap him. Nope, it looks like the points are going to cap out before I manage to get around that island and spot him. So that Khabarovsk does manage to survive. Not a bad battle. 96,000 damage done. Didn't break the 100,000 mark, but I did do a Kraken Unleashed, and I earned 500,000 credits in a tier 10 ship that isn't a premium ship, although it does have premium camo, and I do have a premium account. Still, though, anytime you can make that kind of money in top tier is excellent. Just shy of the 2,000 base XP marker. Of course, if I was playing on the EU server, I'd probably be absolutely pissed off that I managed to kill 5 ships, survive a battle, but not get that 2,000 base XP, all in one battle, which is a mission going on that people are absolutely livid about, because it seems to be nearly impossible to do, unless you are as skilled as I am. Anyway, that's it for today's video, folks. If you like the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me and my channel, as well as get early access to some of my World of Warships replays, among other content, you can do so by becoming my supporter on Patreon. Any support level will grant you access to those replays. If you'd like to send me a replay on World of Warships to be featured on my channel, you can do so by sending it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships live, among other games, you can do so by following me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.